Hey, Shalom family. I haven't been on here in a while. I just want to drop in and share a few thoughts that I was having today. The Most High knows us so much better than we know ourselves. He knows the depths of our heart. He knows our whole makeup. He knows our thoughts, our struggles, our intentions. He knows us from the inside out. Parts of us that we don't even know is there ourselves, right? So the plan that he has for our lives and the way that he unfolds it, he does so according to what he knows about us, right? He's our father. If we are children of the Most High, he is our father, and he only does good things. He only allows us to go through processes that are for our good. He keeps us from things that are not for our good, because his ultimate goal is the salvation of our souls. His ultimate goal is for us to be transformed and conformed and made into his image, right? To be representations of his image in the earth, right? So he is constantly moving towards those ends. So one of the dilemmas is that we often have a different intention and an agenda. We have things that we desire and want of this world, and the Most High puts desires in our heart, right? He gives us particular desires, and when he the desires that he intends, that he puts in us, that he intends to fulfill in whatever way he desires, because sometimes he puts a desire in us to lead us into a direction, not that direction is going to lead us to the destination that we think, but it's leading us into the direction that he would have for us to go. So sometimes we have a desire in us, and we think that desire is going to lead us to a specific outcome, a specific destination, that we're going to obtain a certain thing that is in a lot that we see as the vision that will fulfill that desire. But sometimes the Most High is giving us, he's stirring something else up in us to lead us in a direction that we wouldn't go in unless we had that particular mind or desire or vision. So sometimes, we don't know the outcome of things. We don't know the end of matters and things. We follow the leading of the Most High Spirit, and the Most High leads us in different ways. So he gives us a vision, he gives us a desire, he gives us a direction, and we follow that, and we continue that process of obedience and following his instructions and his leading to get to the places that he has designed for us in his life. Because the places that he has designed for us in his life has the purpose, again, of, your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in the heavens, in the Shemayim. So his desire is for his will to be done on the earth, in us and through us. So we have to submit to that process and keep our eyes on the kingdom, keep our eyes on him, and the fact that he is doing a work in us to make us into sons, right? What is a son? We are son. If we are children of the Most High, we are sons of the Most High. And a son in Hebrew is a ben, a bet, and a noon. A bet is the house, the family, and the noon is the seed, a sprouting seed. So the son is the continuation of the house. It's the continuation of the family, right? It is the seed carried out. So the Most High, so we are sons of the Most High. We are we are sons of the Most High. So we are a continuation of the family in the house of the Most High. So the seed that he's planted in us in his word, it continues on, right? So that's why we're sons and not daughters. So we're daughters and sons based on our gender in the flesh. But based on the kingdom, we're all sons because we are a continuation of his house, of his family. So we are a representation of our Father on the earth. We are a representation of his kingdom on the earth. So he's constantly developing that in us, right? The whole purpose is for our learning. The whole purpose of our experience here is for our learning, our molding, our redemption, being the salvation of our souls, being brought back into righteousness, being brought back into being that reflection. So everything that he designs for our life is to that end, right? So we get into a trouble when we start to put our mind and our vision on the purpose of our lives being that able to ascertain certain things of this earth that we have a interest or desire for, or sometimes just a lust for, right? So we have to keep our eyes on the fact that the Most High is his desire is for the salvation of our soul. So it's certain things that we want and we desire that the Most High may very well intend to bring, that are good desires that he may intend on bringing forth in our life. We may desire to have a family, to have children. We may desire to have a spouse, right? We may desire have certain opportunities that we want to see opened up. We may desire to a financial goal, right? We may desire just certain things in this earth that are not an educational goal, things that are not negative or evil or wrong or anything, things that are legitimate, things that any person on this earth would want, right? But these are things that cannot take, it says seek first the kingdom and his righteousness. So these things cannot occupy a space within us to where it takes place above our process of the Most High. So the Most High fits those things into our life based on his plan for us in the salvation of our souls and the reformation of our minds and our character into his image. So he places these things in our, these opportunities in front of us as a part of that process and that plan. So sometimes we will place those things in our lives outside of that and we create problems. So like I said, Most High knows us more than we know ourselves. So he knows what's going to happen. We may have the thought, man, if I had $1 million, I would do this and I would give to these people and I would do that and I would do this. But which all may be a truth for us in our minds, right? But what we don't know is what we don't know about ourselves. So the Most High may see, okay, if I was to put this in your hands right now, you know, you would fall into this trap here. You would fall into this temptation there. You will fall, and because we have not been in that situation, we're not aware of our shortcomings that may entrap us. We're not conscious of it because we've never been in that situation, right? So look at Peter. Look at Peter. He said he loved Yahushua, right? He loved the Messiah. He said, I would never leave you. I'm going to follow you and this and that. And the Messiah said, you're gonna deny me 3 times by the time the rooster crows, right? And he's like, oh, he couldn't see it. He couldn't see that was in him to deny the Messiah. He couldn't see that was in him, right? Until he was in the pressure of that situation. When he entered into that pressured situation where Messiah is now not with him and he's been taken off, and he saw the reality of that, and the people are looking and they're pointing at him and they're like, hey, he's one of them. In that moment, Peter gets to swearing. He's like, I don't know that man. I don't know what you're talking about. He denies him, right? He didn't know that he would do that because he hadn't been in the pressure of that situation before, right? But he loved the Messiah. He loved, Yahushua, and so, but he was not yet prepared. He was not yet prepared to lay down his life, right? So through the process, he was developed. He later became great in the walk, but that was part of his process of becoming developed. He thought that he was somewhere that he was not. So we have a process. We don't know what's going to happen when we get into a certain relationship that we think that we want, and we may respond in a way that's going to cause the salvation of our souls to suffer. It's going to cause us to falter and fall. We don't know how certain opportunities in this world, or certain financial gain, or certain things that we think that are good, we don't know, even if whatever it is, we don't know how we are going to respond. We don't know what kind of naiveties we may have. We may be naive and fall into schemes and traps of people. We may have certain desires or insecurities that we may get entrapped with when we get into a certain situation that we haven't gotten in before. So the Most High is aware of these things. He's a father. He's our protector. He's our provider. So he gives us according to what we need for the safety and salvation of our souls, of our beings, so that we can complete the work that he started in us and becoming and unfolding into his image. So we sometimes get confused because there are things where, like, I have this desire, but it's not unfolding, where it may be that it's not time yet, or it may be that it's unfolding into something that you don't quite comprehend yet, but the Most High is always for our good. He's always working things out for our best interest. and so that things are all working together for all of those who love him, for us and those we're connected to, right? Those who love him, he's working things out for our good. So we have to be able to see and know that what it is right now is for our good, despite the fact that it may not feel good, despite the fact that we may be enduring hardship, enduring tribulation, and enduring persecutions, that we're being pressed. We have to know that we're not crushed. We have to know that the Most High is molding us so that the main thing is coming forth of being formed and conformed into his image, and his will being done in us and through us. Because we don't want the will of the Most High to just be done through us, but it not be done in us. Because the Most High is accomplishing his will through any vessel. He will use every vessel to accomplish his will, and his will be done through us one way or another. But we want his will to be done in us and with us, so that we are partakers of that. We are partakers of that goodness as sons. We're able to inherit the goodness that he intends for us, right? So we have to distinguish between the success and the agenda and the things of this world versus what success looks like in the kingdom of the Most High YAH. The kingdom is these intangible things of him molding us, and he only uses the physical things of this world when it is an enhancement to that process, right? So we have to keep that in mind, so that we're not lusting after things that are not for us right now, or that are not for us, period. We have to not develop a lust for those things. We have to not be so consumed with our desires and our interests and our things of this world that we're missing the process that the Most High is taking us through. Because if we put ourselves in a place where we grasp onto things that are not for us right now or for us, period, then we're entrapping ourselves, right? So now we're in need of a rescue mission to get us out of these things that we've attached to, that are now serving the purpose of consuming our souls and entrapping our souls with something that is going to try to lead us away from the salvation of it, to lead us away from the plan and purpose of the Most High for us, to lead us away from our role in the kingdom being advanced in the earth and in us. So we have to submit. We have to be fully submitted to the Most High, and know and trust and believe that he is always working for the good of our inner being, the good of our his overall plan for us, right? Whatever that looks like. We have to not allow any lust of this world, any desire of our hearts, whether it is our own desires that we need to purge, or the desires even that he puts in us, that we have to submit that still to the plan of the Most High, so that he unfolds it for his purpose. So again, like I said, our desires are leading us to a destination. Our desires are leading us and directing us to a destination, and it may or may not look like what we think it's going to look like, but we have to trust in the Most High, and continually submit to his purpose for us, knowing that our purpose is to be sons of YAH. Our purpose is to be his image in the earth, as Yahushua said. He said, if you have seen me, you've seen the Father. That's what he said. So we are supposed to be becoming the same as him. That if you see us, if you encounter us, you've encountered the Father, because we're going to speak what he speaks. We're going to do as he would do. We're going to be a vessel that has been made pure, cleansed, and whole, so that the Most High's will can be done through us. And because the will that he fulfills through us is for the salvation of someone else's soul, right? Anything that he does through us, be it the tangible or intangible, is for the salvation of someone else's soul. If he moves on me to be able to give to someone something tangible, to give you some food or some money or something that's tangible, he moves on me to do that for you, not just because you need that tangible thing, but because the salvation of your soul is at stake, because now you needed that encouragement, you needed that your faith to be strengthened, you needed that acknowledgement that the Most High sees you, you needed these things for your soul, the development of your soul and your process in him to continue, right? So he gives that tangible thing for the intangible things that are eternal to continue the process, right? So the tangible things of this world are temporary, right? They're just tools, right? But the ultimate goal is the intangible things, the strengthening of our faith, the endurance, the development in truth, right? So these intangible things that the Most High is working in us, developing us in love, right? He's working these things in us through the tangible things, through intangible. He works these things. So don't get caught up in the temporary tangible things and put your eyes and focus on those things, because that is it's not the point. It's not the point of our existence. So I just wanted to share that. That was a thought that just was stirring in my spirit, and I just wanted to share that. I pray that you are encouraged. I pray that you are uplifted. I pray that you are growing and being built up in the Most High, YAH. I am encouraged. I pray that we are coming up on Feast of Trumpets, the inauguration of the fall feast season. Some have already, some who have different dates have already entered into that, but the rest of us, we're coming into that in the coming week. And the thing about Feast of Trumpets, Yom Teruah, the blowing of the shofar, is a season where you don't want to be caught off guard, right? And not know there's two ways to hear something, right? When you hear the sound of something, you're either aware of it or you're not. So think about when the that emergency broadcast system comes on the TV screen, and you're doing whatever you're doing and the TV's on, and you hear that emergency broadcast system sound come up. So one of two things. One, you either don't know what's going on, so you have to go look and see. I hear a sound, let me go see what this alert is and figure out what's going on. Or you already are aware of what's going on. So who would be aware? The people who sent out the broadcast are already aware of what's going on, and they're just letting everybody else know what's going on, right? So we want to be those who already know what's going on. We don't want to be to where the shofar sounds and we're trying to figure out what's going on because you're late. So we want to be in anticipation and expectation of what's going on. So as the shofar is sounding, we already know. We're of the ones that are sending out the sound, right? We are the ones that are sending out the sound. We're in anticipation of the moment that he's appointed to be able to send out the sound, right? So we want to be in that's why his appointments are so important, because we want to be in position to where we are hearing him and we are responding to him and we are aware of what is going on, and we are not caught off guard, and we're not suddenly hearing something and now we have to run to attention, and we may be caught at a bad time in a bad moment. We may not be prepared for whatever is going down. So we want to pay attention to the appointments and the times of the Most High, so that our ears are attentive and our hands are prepared to move, and we are in the place to be making the right sound at the right time. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. So shalom, shalom, family. Blessings to you, and we'll see you on the next one. Shalom.